What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the safe space where we set oppression ablaze. One of the things we like to set the fuck ablaze is respectability. We don't do respectability over here. Shout out to all my people that do not do respectability. We do not do respectability. We off that. We off that. And we're here to burn down a lot of shit. So I'd like to welcome everybody to the program. Thank you all so much for making time. Let me actually get into the program here so I can hang out where all the rest of the cool kids are. How was everybody's Memorial Day weekend? Did you guys enjoy yourself? Around these parts, we did get a little rained out. It was a bit of a deluge here around my spot. So not much barbecues, not much opportunities to go swimming. It was a bit of a washout, but nonetheless we persevere. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys all had a wonderful, safe and happy Memorial Day weekend. Got to kick it with your folks. Memorial Day usually indicates the unofficial start of summer in the United States. And one thing that is associated with summer is, of course, swimming in the pool, swimming at the beach, swimming at the water park. And you guys probably already knew this because y'all smart and shit. But it's not really a stereotype that a lot of black people do not know how to swim. And actually, black children are exponentially more likely to drown more so than white children. I want to get into this. I think I've done this a couple times in the past, but I don't like to miss an opportunity to remind people that you need to know how to swim. I know. You don't want to get in the water. That's fine. Whatever. But you need to know how to save yourself should you find your body in a precarious situation where you are in a body of water, pool, lake, ocean, whatever. You want to survive, don't you? You want to survive. Well, it's important that you know how to swim and of course that the kids know how to swim, but there are obviously historical reasons based in racism and white supremacy why a lot of black Americans do not swim. So I want to go into that in a little bit. Also want to talk to you guys about y'all's kids, man. I don't know why I'm so interested in children, but I mean, I'm concerned for your children, y'all, because the kids are digital dope fiends out here. Digital dope fiends. And the science is really trying to sound the alarm on this mental health crisis that they believe is not only fueled by social media, but younger minds, babies, infants, toddlers, when exposed for durations of time to the tablet or the smartphone, it's having an effect on human kids' brains. And again, we find ourselves in such weird fucking times. This is the first time. This is the first time in human civilization that our children have been exposed in this way to artificial intelligence, to digital devices. What is that doing? According to the science, it's not doing very good. It's not doing very good. So I want to get into some of that in just a minute. But first, I want to thank everybody for making the time to join us. Thank you all so much. Big up to our folks in the building. I see Afra in the building. What's going on? Is that who is that? Is that who's that? Oh, it's Teresa. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Latif. Thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate. Latif said he had a very long weekend. Dealing with, we want to send our love going out to Pops as well, and hopefully that he is recovering from his surgery. So thank you so much to Latif, and big up to everybody else that's coming in here. I can't even read it. Oh, it's Quaker Anarchist. Hey, Quaker, what's going on? Thank you for being here. Just a reminder, everybody, this is our last. Hey, Wendy. Hey, Donnie. Our last live show for the next month. We are off for the month of June. Will is over there thanking Allah right now. Will is off mic praising the Lord because Will is tired. Will is tired. Will said he needs a little break here. So we are going to be off for the month of June. All that means is that we're not going to be doing live shows here on the channel. We will be posting clips. We might even sneak in some members only stuff as well. Anna, I still am down to post all the info for the support sessions and all of that. We can keep all that going for the month of June, but just don't look for no live broadcast. Because we tied. Okay, we tied, and so we're gonna take a little pause. So just that's it. Yeah. Somebody, oh, it was Donnie. Donnie asked me in the AMA, was I still going to do the morning show on BPM? Yep, I'll be on there tomorrow. I couldn't make it this morning. I couldn't. I was unable. I was deeply unable. And I was almost very much unable to do this tonight because I was like, man, let me get on. What am I doing? These are my what I don't I apologize for doing that on camera. And this is not a plug or anything stupid shit like that. But I use these what's this say? Sheets. I get these at Target. Target, please pay your people a thriving wage, please and thank you. So they're just blot shine papers, and I normally am not tacky enough to do it while I'm while I'm on camera. I just had one in my hand, and it was a reflex. So if you wonder what that was, like, Kim, what is that shit you put on your face? It's just a sheet, and it sucks up the oil. I use it in lieu of like like finish it. What's the shit? The blot powder maybe. And I don't know makeup, but anyway, but they work very well. And Target used to sell these for $1. Now they $3. Inflation. You really do hate to see it. So anyway, my deepest apologies for not being considerate that we had company that we was on and popping today. So guys, do us a favor, please like the video when you get an opportunity. Subscribe, follow, share, all that shit. We appreciate it. So anyway, let me get into the show here because I keep seeing these stories, and I know y'all are like, Kim, you've done this story. I know, but it's still a problem. Like it's still a problem. Yeah, your kids are out here digital dope fiends, and we have to like really address what's happening here. So, Will, if you could please pop up that popular science piece for me, because a couple of studies were published in recent days that even got my attention, so to speak. But these kind of stories have captured my attention because I feel as though we're way too cash about the normalization and the proliferation and the use of digital devices and social media, right? Because we have been conditioned, taught to think and to look at technology as a net positive, as something universally benevolent. If it's new, then surely it must be good. Well, y'all, I guess, but no, this is capitalism. Okay, we are living under capitalism here. Capitalism in America, if nothing, has taught us that they will sell you all kinds of harmful things so long as a buck is made. Correct? Cigarettes, very legal. Alcohol, also very legal. A lot of things that are harmful to your body, mind, and spirit are very readily available for sale. And these digital things should be viewed very much in the same way. So, this is a piece from Popular Science this week. It says the U.S. Surgeon General warns of a profound risk of harm, a profound risk of harm for kids on social media. Now, this particular study addressed social media. It says at this time, we do not have enough evidence to determine if social media is sufficiently safe for children and adolescents. Now, think about that, y'all. They don't think it's safe. Fuck appropriate. You know what I'm saying? The Surgeon General, and we can have a conversation about how much weight and or credibility we want to give an office like the U.S. Surgeon General or the Centers for Disease Control, especially in a, I don't want to call it a post-COVID environment, but since the pandemic, we've seen that public health has really fallen down and dropping the ball. But check this out. So it says, following a similar report issued by the American Psychological Association earlier this month, the U.S. Surgeon General released an advisory statement on Tuesday warning of social media platforms and their being potentially harmful and their potential harmful effects on minors. And scroll, 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 scroll. There's so many ads and stuff on this stuff. It just makes me very angry. Says while cautioning that more research is needed, and we're going to get into the more research needed part from the Biden administration. It says that we still need to understand that the full scope of social media platforms and their impact on children, adolescents, and teens. The U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy, as was our office, released in a statement on Tuesday, and discusses that they have found in one study that as little as 3 hours a day of social media usage and exposure by teen and adolescents can have a potentially harmful increase. They've seen it, a marked increase in symptoms of anxiety, depression, and body self image. And these effects disproportionately are more harmful to girls and boys. I wonder what that's about. Because it does say this in this article. It says, it says additional research cites these figures are more harmful, in particular, to girls who face cyberbullying and body image issues. I mean, I would imagine that boys also experience cyberbullying and body image issues, but we'll let the science speak. The article says at this time we do not have enough evidence to determine if social media is sufficiently safe for children and adolescents, the advisory said. So this is interesting because this is hold on. This is coming from the Biden administration, and all this is being released, I think, in conjunction with National Mental Health Awareness Month. And the Biden administration also weighed in on that. But the point is, guys, like there's a couple of things that we need to address. Hold on. Let me get. Well, actually, I'm sorry, I'm a little all over the place. Nigga, I'm having a mental health crisis. Like this is why. No, but no bullshit. Like I'm not having a mental health crisis, but you don't see me on the social medias like that, y'all, and that's intentionally because I don't need it. Khadijah don't need you. Like I don't need that shit in my head. I don't. I can't doom scroll. I can't rage scroll. I cannot. I can't look at everybody on Instagram on the fucking beach and I'm not at the goddamn beach. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, do I feel anxious and depressed and issues about body self-conscious? Yes, I feel all that cuz people are having more fun than me. And that makes me sad. It makes me want to go do I don't know, not anything serious, but you understand. But you understand. This shit affects adults. I'm a big adult out here. Imagine what all this shit is doing to the kids. Do it to the kids especially. Will pop up that other joint, the other joint. I'm sorry, that's really annoying. I shouldn't do that in y'all's ear. My apologies. There was another study that came out. Yes, it says study examines how social media and technology affect mental health, and especially when they talk about in children. And so, all right, so some people would be like, well, Kim, uh, my kids are small enough that they don't engage in social media, but I do give them the tablet and the smartphone, so they will shut the fuck up. Right? I get it. I get it. But that is impacting the way that toddlers are also engaging and interacting, and it sometimes can delay the onset of speech. It can delay their or have an impact on their hand-eye coordination because they're not doing enough with the hands except just holding the fucking tablet and or digital device. And when kids like little babies, not babies, but I guess more so like toddlers and infants. What's the age that y'all give the kids the tablet so they start shutting the fuck up? I'm guessing a year and a half, two, something like that. So when exposed to these things for prolonged periods of time, I think incremental screen time has proven to be less harmful. But when people, park the baby in front of the damn tablet and then go clean the house, um, it might be not doing you might could encounter some more problems later. You may not even notice or even peep any sort of developmental issues with the infant or toddler at the time, but it can affect the way that they engage and socialize with other people as they get older, because the nuance of eye contact and intonation and body language, these are things, these are ways that humans communicate. Like, this is how we have communicated for millions of years. And here we are in the smart dumb times, the smart dumb fucking times, and all of a sudden we're not communicating in these ways anymore. And then we shake our heads and wonder why these kids can't talk to strangers. You know what I'm saying? They scary. They don't want to drive. They don't want to leave the house. They don't want to, maybe advocate for themselves in certain situations. I mean, like we can't wonder these things and be like, oh well, I guess he's just these newfangled kids. No, 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 no. The digital dope fiendedness is impeding their development. And again, I think we're way too casual about, number one, the age at which we subject these kids to these devices and such. And some might even argue, okay, well, what's the difference, Kim, between, oh, thanks, Will. what's the difference between what's the difference between the kid looking at the tablet for 2 hours and the kid, when Will's parents used to get tired of him, they would sit him in front of the TV and make him watch Aladdin. He would be watching The Little Mermaid for 2 whole hours. What's the difference between giving the kid a tablet, that, and then Will's mama and daddy making him watch The Little Mermaid when he got on their nerves? The difference is this: usually there was a little bit more engagement, interaction. The television screen was enough of a distance away that it wasn't directly in the child's face. And I don't know, and I'm sure there may be some science behind that, like the actual distance away from the eyes or the face to the screen, and how that impacts the level of engagement, the level of engrossment from the kid with the content or whatever. And to be honest, I don't really have an answer for that, because I too watched a lot of TV. Watched a lot of TV. Watched a shit ton of TV with all the commercials. Ain't no DVR. You wouldn't no fast forwarding through commercials in 1985. You had to watch all them Jones. Or you had to hurry up and go to the bathroom, to the kitchen, and be back before the commercial break ended. It was a skill to that. So, but this is different, everybody. This is different, because even with purchasing cell phones, and I know there's a lot of debate about what ages should kids have phones, but the kids are experienced with the phones by 3, by 4, by 5, right? So naturally, the kid, when they get to be 8, 9, natural that they would want their own cell phone. And I can empathize and sympathize with the parents who are really struggling with this, because it's becoming clear to me that Generation X, maybe not the greatest parents. Gen X, Gen X. I don't know what kind of job a parent in Gen X is doing out here. It's mixed. It's definitely a strong C. I would not say that Gen X is out here killing it on the parenting front. I mean, there's some astounding. I was trying to say exceptional and astounding, but it came out astounding. I'm sounding like ear doctor. Some exceptional, astounding Gen X parenting, but then there is some very bad parenting going on. So I can empathize with the conscious parents who are aware of all of this shit, right? And they're trying to delay for as long as possible whether or not they're gonna get their child a cell phone. But then you got these fucking dipshit parents who really don't like their fucking kids and will give them anything so they'll shut the fuck up. It's wild. Like, the pandemic was very revealing about how much people don't like their kids. Like, people would be on social media screaming about, I'm stuck in the house with all these fucking kids, and it's like, but these are your kids. It's like, if they're annoying you, how do you think they show up in the world? It's weird. Like, I don't think people, I don't know, I can't put a percentage on it, but there's definitely a percentage of people out here who do not fucking like the kids. They don't like to be around them. They don't want to be in the house with them. So they give them the phone, the tablet, the video game console, whatever. So they'll shut the fuck up. And I know that makes it harder for y'all good parents because the peer pressure comes in, right? Well, Devontae got the new blah blah blah. How come I can't have it? And it's like, well, you can't. And I can't even imagine what those conversations go or how or what they sound like. But this is not a drill, everybody. This is not a game. Study after study after study after study reveals that social media exposure to adolescents and teens is seriously harming them. The rates of suicidal ideation, the rates of suicide attempts, and even people who manage to complete the act, those things have been driving and trending upwards. And not to say that people didn't, or young people, teens didn't have depression and anxiety in the 80s or 90s. I just think it manifested itself differently. And for example, if you were in a bullying situation back in the day, when you got home, that's it. Wasn't no more bullying. I guess the bullies, if you had a bold bully, maybe they would come to your house. But by and large, the bullying was an in-school activity or on the bus activity. But by the time you got home and got your after-school snack together, and popped up the TV, you watching cartoons, you're not being bullied no more. Well, that's not the case with these kids. These kids are being bullied 24/7, 24 fucking 7. And that's another thing. You got to think about that. Is that the kind of shit you want to expose your kid to? And it's not even so much that even if your child does not have a smartphone, for example, and is not being digitally subjected to cyberbullying because they don't have a smartphone, yes, the bullying is just waiting for them when they get back to school the next day. I mean, but that's how it goes. You know what I'm saying? I just the idea of being bullied at home on my phone. Well, I guess I have experienced that too, but I wasn't a kid. I was a big adult. I can't imagine what that must be like. Like, that's got to be very depressing, anxiety inducing, and would certainly undermine and undercut your self esteem. So, I don't know what kind of collective societal decision needs to be made here that we can collectively agree that children under the age of 15 should not be cell phone owners. And like, I got to tell folks that be like, well, I get my kid a phone for safety. These kids still get snatched out here. Okay. Like, back in my day, not only did we not have phones, we used to ride our bikes for miles, miles and miles away from home. No one had a cell phone. No parent could reach their child. During summer break, between the hours like 11 and 4, 11 and 5, and it wasn't too hot outside, nigga, you think I'm in the house? No. I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm going to somebody else's house. And we didn't have no public transportation in Laurel at that time. So how was I getting there? I was pushing that bike miles and miles away, to and fro. Right? No cell phones. We was free range children. I don't know what the kids is now. They are on digital leashes. And I'm not even like, again, this is just this a lot. Some of this is me talking out of my child free ass. Okay, I understand that, but no, seriously, I am concerned. I am very concerned about the level of digital dependency and the level of basically digital expectation that we're putting on these kids. Right? Like, we are telling them in not so many words. It's normal to check 7 8 things on your phone. It's normal to be a slave to your notifications. And I'm curious, what's the kind of example some parents are putting forth, because we can't complain about the amount of screen time that the kids are doing if the parent is living on Facebook. This is all on the Instagram and doing the most. Right? It's time for us, like, we do have to kind of set better examples, I think, for the kids, because we are normalizing these extended periods of time on our phones and on our tablets. And this is how the kids, to them, that is going to be all they know. It is us. It is those who are, I don't know, well, let's say Will's age, 35 and older. We know the difference. You know what I'm saying? The kids today, they don't know the difference. Born after 2000, they do not know the fucking difference. All they know is the screen, multiple screens, medium sized screens, palm sized screens. That's all they know. But I don't think that it's good for them that be all they know, because these social media platforms, I mean, we know what their algorithms do. We know that their algorithms are tailored in a way to try to keep the kid hooked and scroll and scroll and scroll forever. We get that, but do our kids get that? Do they understand the ways that their brains are being manipulated into these long sessions on any given social media platform, right? Do they understand? I mean, a variety of things. Do they understand media literacy? Do they understand the kind of information that they are consuming? Do they understand how marketing and commercials work? Of course they don't, but they would if they mamas and daddies told them. So it's up to y'all to tell them, and be aware. Like, so I have a friend who has a small child, almost two, and the kid gets to watch, what's what, I don't even know what it is. It's called Bluey. Bluey. Y'all know what it is? I don't know what it is. I don't have a kid. I know nothing about children's entertainment. But so the kid gets to watch that for 30 minutes, and that's it. That's all the screen time the kid gets. He gets to watch TV for a half hour. Does not get access to the phone, does not get access to a tablet. And I think that's brilliant. I think that's good. And I know a lot. Maybe that's why Gen X is not doing this parenting thing all that well, because a lot of us were raised by the television. A lot of us too were raised by the TV. But the TV went off. Like, TV used to go off. Like, TV wasn't a 24/7 thing. TV ended, right? What was it? Midnight, 1 o'clock? Oh my God. How old are we, y'all? When they would play the national anthem and then the shit would go to static. Dog, imagine. You would think something would be really wrong if any one of your thousands of cable TV stations did that. If they at midnight played the national anthem and went to static, you think that something was terrible was going on. So I just want to encourage you all. Again, I'm not saying listen to the fucking U.S. Surgeon General, not at all. But well, hold on. We'll run that clip from Corinne Jean Pierre, the Biden White House press secretary. She made this announcement. This was a few days ago. But yeah. Let's check this out.
Today, during National Mental Health Awareness Month, the Biden-Harris administration is announcing the development of a new interagency task force on kids' online health and safety, and a series of additional actions from several agencies to safeguard children's privacy, mental health, and safety online. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy also released a new advisory on social media and youth mental health that calls on policymakers, technology companies, researchers, parents, and young people to work together to make social media safer for kids. These new administration-wide actions will help advance President Biden's national strategy to tackle the mental health crisis and protect the health and well-being of our nation's young people.
Thank you for that. No, I remembered why I pulled that clip, because I'm like, wow. Say absolutely nothing in 250 words. How can you say absolutely fucking nothing in 250 words? Well, Corinne Jean Pierre just did that. This country in capitalism intentionally tries to play catch up when it comes to regulations, right? When it comes to regulating new technologies, intentionally the US federal government was like, this is some new shit. We don't know what to do with this. I guess we'll just figure it out in 30 years. Oh. After how many generations have been exposed to the Wild West online and on social media? Yeah. That's some weak sauce shit right there from the Biden administration, because they announced that they're starting an interagency task force. And again, tell me you're not doing fuck all about the problem by telling me you go and put a task force on the fucking shit. How long have social media platforms been in existence, everybody? Are we going with MySpace? No, fuck that. I mean, we can go with Black Planet. I remember being on Black Planet in like '01. MySpace, I don't remember joining MySpace until I'm gonna say '06 ish, '06, and then the rest of it just sort of fell in from there. But I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, we're talking 20 plus years of social media platforms being a thing. And what's there what is there any regulations? And not to say that, regulations from the government are a cure all to the issues that are facing young people, but at least y'all could have got on this shit way before now. You could have got on this shit way before now. And the US Surgeon General simply issuing an advisory, what the fuck does that do? Do you think, I mean, I'm telling y'all about it, but do you think most people give a shit about what the US Attorney General got to say about a smartphone that's keeping their third grader quiet? That's keeping them quiet. Oh shit. Mm-mm. Top flight. Tyler, thank you so much for your super chat support, my son. My son says I have this problem myself, SMH. Still, listen, Tyler. Oh my God, talks. Shut up, shut up. Don't be too hard on yourself. But it's about awareness, right? Like like these things are not benign. Like, I know they seem benign. I know TikTok sings songs and does dances and all that kind of shit, but seriously, you do not know what staring at all of this content repeatedly over the course of a few hours, over the course of weeks, months, years, what this does to the developing brain. And I think it's important that we really take social media and the digital devices very, very seriously. I know the smartphone can be helpful, I guess. But for example, so there was another, just to give you an idea about how little your actually kids get from staring at these screens. Like, if you're trying to teach a child, for example, a foreign language, and say you have Spanish language programming on the television, you're listening to Spanish language music, you got the kids watching Dora the Explorer in Spanish, and you're hoping your child will just learn the Spanish by osmosis. It usually doesn't work that way, because the kid has to be engaged with the content. Like, you have to speak to the child, and the child has to respond in kind, and they don't get that same level of internalization of information from the screens as they do from the person to person engagement. So even if you're watching, what's the shit? I don't even fucking know. Young Einstein. What's the shit that the parents put on for the kids? They make them smart. The little geniuses. I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe the shit works. I don't know, but science says it doesn't. So anyway, all right, I'm off that. Don't let your kids be digital dope fiends, please and thank you. Okay. Hold on. We're going to take a little break. Dogs kind of threw me off. What's up, Shirley? Did I see Shirley in there? What's going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for making some progress. Hey, Aggressive Progressive. Thank you so much for showing up in the jam. We love to see you all. Hey, Nat A. Hey, K Days. It is appealing, K Days, about being able to have the freedom, to say whatever. But we understand. Um, the problem is that people, they use their freedoms of social media to say whatever, to be absolute assholes. Right? They do that to be incredible dickheads. And you guys remember middle schoolers, Jesus. I mean, it doesn't get more bigger dickheads than fucking middle schoolers. I doubt it. I can't imagine my middle school days. I mean, because I mean, yeah, no, I got bullied a little bit in school, and sometimes on the times that it was bad, I was always glad to get home. And if somebody called the house, right, they weren't calling me directly; they called the house. If somebody called the house on some bullshit, you just hang up the phone. Or if you knew they was really on some bullshit, you take the phone off the hook. I mean, you understand, like, there were, and I guess maybe that translates into blocking in the 21st century on social media. I don't know what that looks like now. But I just feel it's really unfair that these kids are being subjected to all this shit. And we as adults also, but I'm actually not thinking about myself for once. I'm thinking about y'all's children. And I'm thinking about y'all's children for once. I'm just I know young people, young adults, some, and this is not applicable to all, but there are some young adults that I know that are really having trouble out in the world because they weren't forced to engage with folks. You know what I'm saying? They were allowed to sit in the room and play the video game for hours and hours or watch TV or do whatever the fuck for hours and hours. And now they're 25, 26, having problems. You know what I'm saying? Having some real issues. So I don't know. We just can't be casual about that shit. That's it. All right. So let me move on to my next story here because this is a story that I find very important. And Jesus, I'm sorry. This might be, y'all might accuse me actually being lazy because you're like, Kim, you talk about these things. You've talked about these things before because I find that they're important. I find them to be very important. So, and I even came up with the idea for this story scrolling Twitter and I saw this tweet. Ah,
What about the sorry, didn't mean to scare.
no, you didn't. The thing, my interface shocked me actually. That's why I jumped. But no, that was just interesting timing. What I forget, Will.
No, I'm just saying that this is the last day so for the abortion fund.
Oh, see, look at young Wilbert with the stronger memory right there. Come through, strong young memory. Let's go. All right, y'all. This is the last day that well, that I mean, tomorrow is still May, but our since this is our last show for the month of May and our last show for the next month, just a reminder. But yeah, shut up. Just a reminder that we are supporting we're supporting the ARC Southeast Abortion Fund for our abortion fundraiser. We've been supporting abortion fundraisers. Well, we've been doing hold on, let me reset. Skirt. We have been supporting abortion funds every month ever since the Dobbs Supreme Court decision came down a year ago next month. Ugh. So this month it's the ARC Southeast, which is based in Atlanta. And I have to say, you guys, since the first time that we started raising money for these abortion funds, and I think it was the Kentucky Health Justice Network, where I think we sent them over $300. I haven't added it up, but it's close to that. It's looking mighty close to that we will be sending to the ARC Southeast. And usually, the channel does 50, and then we add whatever not whatever, but whatever y'all sent. And it usually kind of adds up to be, 75, 100. The past couple of ones have been like 75, 100 somewhere. But this one, you guys really showed up. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And again, to I guess the well-intentioned people who like me but don't like the fact that I raise money for abortion funds, honey, you fundamentally misunderstand the problem. You misunderstand the problem. Cool. Be worried about the unborn. That's awesome. But I need you to be worried about the born too. Like the ones that's born, the ones that already, got asthma and shit because they live in a place with bad ventilation and mold in there, whatever the fuck. You understand? Like be worried about the children that are here as much. If actually fuck that. More. I need you to be more worried about the kids that are here, that are present, than you are about the unborn. You know what I'm saying? And that's no diss to the unborn. Shout out to the unborn. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna make it one day. But I'm saying, there's kids here with names who are drawing breath, who have medical needs, who have educational needs, who have all kinds of needs. Why don't you look out for them? All you pro-life fucking hypocrites. Why don't you go find the kids that are in poverty right now and go help the fucking born? You're so worried about the unborn. Go worry about the fucking born. Let the put your Christian values up right there. Go check on the born. Go check on them and then report back and shut the fuck up at the same time. So anyway, we're supporting the ARC Southeast, guys. We appreciate all that you have done. And I'll be talking sometimes I'll be popping off at people that are not actually here. I have imaginary enemies. They're not really imaginary because they real to me. But yeah, what's up, Schultzy? Peace, Nawadi. What's up, James? What's up, y'all? I'm glad to see y'all in here. Does that say Richard? What's up, Richard? Come on in here. Oh, okay. So anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know how I feel about that because it's just it's a madness. Women and pregnant people don't have rights in America. This is not a democracy. There is no freedoms here. There's no freedom to live how you want to live. Nope. If you a fucking woman, if you were gay, if you were trans, there's rules. There's rules to the shit. If you got a uterus or you desire to have a uterus or whatever, there's rules for y'all. For the straight dick owners and operators, they get the freedoms. The rest of y'all, there's rules. There's rules for your existence. I do not like it here. Have I mentioned that? Maybe on occasion. Okay, let me get back to where I'm at. All right. So, with Memorial Day being the unofficial kickoff of summer in the United States, everybody in most places, if you live in a city or wherever you may live, you likely had your pool open, right? Your community pool. Ooh, shout out to all the people that's fancy with their own pools. What's that like? Is that nice? Ooh, I bet it sounds nice. Oh my God, if I had a pool. Woo, a couple things. If I could sing, if I was tall, if I had a pool, you wouldn't be able to tell me shit. You would not be able to tell me shit out here. If I had a pool, y'all would not be able to tell me shit. I'd be like, what? What pores? I can't understand y'all. What? I wouldn't do that. But not a lot. But I might do that a little bit, but not a whole lot though. But anyway, I do not have a pool. So I am pores. But anyway, so I saw this tweet on Rhine when I was, on Twitter shopping for stories. I just go to Twitter to browse for stories and then I leave, take my little purchases and I get the fuck out because I don't like to be there. It's a wasteland. But I saw this tweet. Pop up the tweet, Wilbur. Thank you. Look at Will. Shit. You see the picture there of the black Little Mermaid, which I'm sure all the little children or a lot of little children are eagerly anticipating. And the tweet read this, and this is what got me to thinking. It said, Black parents, in honor of the Little Mermaid coming out, let your babies get swimming lessons. Yes, that's a brilliant idea. Let your babies get swimming lessons, let them get in the pool, and let them get their hair wet. Research good protective hairstyles and how to care for their hair after the pool. But let them swim and emulate their new Disney princess. And I saw that tweet and I said, "Oh, that is such a wonderful sentiment. That is such a wonderful sentiment because according to research, y'all, it's not a stereotype that a lot of black people do not know how to swim. And that is rooted in a number of reasons, some of which we're going to get into, but I wanted to just kind of echo the tone of that message because first of all, leading off with swimming lessons, I think is extremely important for not just children, but really for all people. Guys, there are certain life skills you need out here, man. You need to know how to cook. If you're able, you need to know or learn how to drive. You need to know how to recognize your drugs. You need to know when someone has played with the weed or did something crazy. Like there's certain need to knows. But swimming, I absolutely put very high at the top of that list because that is a survival skill. Okay. Like you need to know how to swim. You need to know how to swim. Yeah, I know. You don't get in the water. I know. You just like to let your feet dangle. I know. But what happens? What happens if somebody manages to get you on a boat or you on a cruise or there's a flood or there's any kind of thing? Like water is unavoidable out here, right? You are going to encounter a body of water at some point in your life. And whether or not you get in the water is completely up to you, but shit happens, right? So learning and knowing how to swim, I think, is extremely valuable to the collection of skills that you need as human in order to survive out here. I think you need to know how to shoot. I think you need to know how to do a lot of things, but swimming, let's stick with swimming right now. So let me tell you guys this. So, when I was younger, like I said, between the ages of about 4 and 14, I was in Little Rock pretty much every summer, a lot of summers. And when I was young, like elementary age, maybe early middle school aged, I used to go to the Boys and Girls Club, the Thrasher Boys and Girls Club, at the end of Martin Luther King in Little Rock. I don't think it's called the Thrasher Boys Club anymore. In fact, I think they named it after the guy who was the longtime head of that particular Boys and Girls Club. I remember his first name was Luther. I think Luther's still with us, but I think they named it after Luther. And they had a pool there. And but for me going to that pool religiously every day in the summer, I don't know if I would have learned how to swim. And I'm not Michael Phelps out this bitch. You know what I'm saying? But I can swim from the shoreline out to a buoy and back, right? And I'm not one of them good, underwater breathers. I don't swim that way. But I know I'm comfortable swimming. I'm comfortable to the point I don't think I'm gonna drown. Like I have swam in the ocean many times with a lot of comfort, not suspecting that I would drown. Now I was terrified that a shark was gonna come up from underneath and just relieve me of one of my legs. I was terrified about that, but I was not scared about drowning, and that's because I had the foundational skill of swimming. Pop up if you could, Will, the CBS piece if you could for me. Now, I want you, especially if you live in an urban area, even if you don't live in an urban area, chances are there's something like this around you. This is from is this Chicago dot click clickbeat.org. Okay. So Chicago students get swimming lessons and a chance to learn life-saving skills. They were offering this at the Garfield Park pool, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on. It says about a half a dozen second grade students perceived perched on a pool and with their feet dangling in the clear water. Oh my God, that brings back memories. At the Martin Luther King Jr. Boys and Girls Club. Jesus, they got one of those in Chicago too? Yes, they do. On Chicago's west side, next to the swimming, the test. Flatter kicks and flutter kicks. Sorry. So at this particular Boys and Girls Club in the Chi, shout out to the west side, they're offering the kids several weeks of free swimming lessons for 7 and 8-year-olds. But again, lots of these programs exist a variety of places, and I'm very glad to see this. I also wanted to acknowledge for a moment the state of Washington. Who do we have in the state of Washington? The Hearts, are y'all on this? I mean, maybe not on this particularly. Hold on, let me pull this up and see what I'm talking about. Because I know there was a bill in this year's Washington state legislative session, pardon me, HB 1750. It was created to find solutions to childhood drowning, including addressing our history of segregated pools slash beaches, which has contributed to Black kids being 5 times more likely to drown than white kids. It said if you're in Washington state, please take a moment to support. And this was HB 1750. And this was posted. Well, wow, that was back in February. Who wrote this? GN Cordova. And I think I follow that person. They do good work on Twitter. I don't know what the status of that was. I actually probably should have checked. What was the status of HB 1750 Washingtonians, Washington Stateonians? What? What's up, Richard Snow? Thank you. Come through. We appreciate you. We appreciate your super chat support. Wait. Oh, that's big time dollars. Let's go. That said $49.99. That's what I'm talking about, Snows. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, brother Rich. Brother Rich. Say give love to the family. Thank you so much. That's the kind of support I'm talking about. Thank you. Thank you. And Rich, I know the boys already know how to swim. I ain't gotta say nothing to you about that. But no, this is important. So find out if you don't already know if your children are not experienced swimmers. And again, this program in Chicago was for second graders, 7 and 8 year olds. So yeah, get them kids in the fucking water. Pardon me, kids, if y'all listening, but my bad. But get them kids in the water early. Get them in the water early. And I love what the sister tweeted about as it portends to hair care, right? Well, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. Hold on. What should I start with hair care? Or should I start with segregation? The segregated pools and beaches situation. Because okay, let's go there. Because that's some real stuff. And it was interesting. I appreciate Gian Cordova for acknowledging that as part of Washington State's sordid racial history, but it is actually the entire history of this country. There were many a civil rights struggle, many a civil rights era action that involved doing something at or around a pool or a particular beach. Black people for a very long and sustained amount of time. Sometimes we were at the segregated beach, but when the desegregation movement began, the pools and the beaches were also a huge part of that. Will pop up that picture for me because this is a very famous photo. Well, maybe it should be more famous if it's not super famous, but this was, I don't remember who the original photographer was, but this was republished in this instance in an NPR piece. And what do we see here? This was in Florida. I believe that this was the story behind that image where you see black swimmers in the pool, and behind them there's a white man dumping bleach into the water, and you see the distress on the face of the black woman swimmer there. And the piece is titled, it says, "Remembering a Civil Rights Swim-In." It was a milestone event. And this particular instance, so that picture that you're seeing there is from June 1964. And the article reads, it says, on June 18th, 1964, black and white protesters jumped into the whites only pool at the Monsoon Motor Lodge in St. Augustine, Florida, in an attempt to force them out. The owner of the hotel poured acid into the pool. And that's the picture that we're looking at. And it's wild. And those kinds of violent clapbacks at black folks just attempting to enjoy the water um has driven black people out of the water. I mean, to the point that 6 out of 10 black children do not know how to swim, right? And that's been generational. And that's been all through the legacy of white supremacy and segregation. That black people were not allowed to enjoy these facilities equally, and their comparable facilities may not have been as nice. But the segregated beaches were absolutely there. Shout out, if I'm not Afra, do you know? Because I'm pretty sure I heard this. But Sandy Point is off of Route 50, right at the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. Is in, I guess that would be, fuck, is that Anne Arundel County or PG County? I guess it has to be Anne Arundel County. But that was for black folks. That's where the black people went to Sandy Point. Black people didn't go all the way to Ocean City. To this day, Ocean City is not 100% friendly for Negroes. To right fucking now. Black people still catch some bullshit at Ocean City, but go to Sandy Point on a nice day during the summer. Hordes of Negroes. It's gonna be black folks as far and confused. But it's not a shock why black people, some, don't know how to swim, or more than half of us don't know how to swim or elect to stay out of the water. And that's one of them right there. The legacy of slavery, of Jim Crow. Slavery, Jesus. Are those people enslaved, Kim? No. But it is a legacy of slavery still. I'm certain keeping black people out of particular watering spaces absolutely has a slavery connotation to it still. But the other reason, let's get off of that. Well, I want to go do something to that white man, push his ass in the fucking pool. That shit just made me mad just looking at it. But the other thing that the sister in the tweet that even sparked me talking about this, the other thing that they mentioned had to do with the hair. And the hair is very important, because a lot of times, especially black girls, will be discouraged from swimming, maybe by their mothers, maybe by the others, because of hair, right? We black people and black girls and women, we can't sit around with the chlorine and shit in our fucking hair, okay? We can't even rinse it with water and be like, oh, it just rinsing out. No, 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 no. It requires cleansing, okay? You have to shampoo that chlorine and those chemicals out of your hair almost immediately, right? Because the chlorine and all those chemicals and the exposure to the sun and all that have a very drying effect on black hair, period. Whether or not, and especially if it's chemically treated or if it's color treated in any way, those pool chemicals are gonna run a madness on your fucking hair. And, again, getting back to kind of me as at a younger age, that was like, I remember being in middle school and my white classmates being on the swim team. And I kind of already knew the answer why I couldn't be on the swim team, because they would swim every day. You think my mother wanted to fool with my hair every fucking day? No. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. She did not want to be shampooing, conditioning, combing through, braiding up. Why? Just so I can go get in the pool the next day? Shit. You better run track. You're not doing that swim team bullshit, okay? And that's cool. Your kids don't have to do the swim team, but that is all stuff to be very, very mindful of and considerate of. I know we do have some single dads in here with us, gentlemen. If you're going to take your baby swimming, make sure that they have the products that will help to make sure that the pool chemicals and the chlorine and stuff does not break all their hair off. You know what I'm saying? That can also be a little bit of devastation. But when it comes to protective styles, braids, I don't fucking know. What else do they do? Protective style. Protective styles. Also the same thing. Make sure that you clean them. Like, you can't just, I know the baby had her extensions or whatever, but she went to the pool and you gotta wash that shit too. You gotta wash it, you gotta dry it, you have to replenish it with creams and oils and moisture replenishing things. Our hair demands more to be moisturized. Like, my shit is not moisturized now, and look at it. It's terrible. That's why I pulled it back. I said, no, 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 no. Yes, yes. So, but don't let those be impediments. Don't let that be the reason that your daughter doesn't learn how to swim. She needs to learn how to swim. Okay, we can deal with the hair. Okay, we if anything, carry her to the salon or whatever. She has to learn how to swim, though. They have to learn how to swim. The kids need to know how to swim. Black children drown 5 times more often than white children in this country. Please teach your kids how to swim. Are they going to learn it in school? Likely not. Where else are they going to learn it but for their parents and their community, making sure that they have this very valuable life survival skill? If you teach your kids to cook, if you're teaching your kids to drive, if you're teaching your kids to handle weapons, your child also needs to learn how to swim. Okay, it's not an option. This is something that they will value and carry with them really throughout their lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you learn how to swim, you don't really unlearn it. You don't really forget. It's like riding a bike, right? Same thing. C'est le même chose. We no. No, no. Okay, y'all. That's the show. Let me turn y'all loose. I'm gonna turn myself loose. I want to thank you guys. First of all, thank you all. Thank you, everybody that shows up here week in and week out. You would not have been able to tell me 2+ years ago that we were going to have a crew, a strong little nifty 50. You know what I'm saying? That shows up and is consistent and rides out and comes and follows me. Play not follow. Y'all don't literally follow me, but when I'm doing other shit, y'all will come up and spread love. And I appreciate that. I just wanted to thank you all thank the Fire Fam, everybody that's present here with us right now, those that will come watch later, and those that I maybe haven't seen in a while. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool too. Everybody got their own thing going on. So I just wanted to thank you guys, and just to let you know that this break is only going to be a month. We do, we will be returning in July, and thank you. Just if you wouldn't mind, continue to engage with the content during this next month. Like I said, we'll be posting clips and maybe some other little surprises. But if you see a notification, go like the video, comment, do something to it, because YouTube be a halo bitch out here. And when you don't post for a duration of time, we feel as though they they retaliate, maybe not open retaliation, but they I think they push your shit down. So anyway, so engage with the stuff as you see it, as it comes up. Let me big up real quick. Shout out to the Revolutionary Blackout Network. I saw, like I said, I went on Twitter today to pick my little stories and go. But I did see that RBN had got suspended from YouTube for a week also, as Black Power Media had been. What was that? Maybe a couple months ago. So I just want to send some solidarity going out to RBN. I don't know what they said to get censored on YouTube, but it was probably some righteous shit. Because if they was talking some Proud Boy shit, Google would probably be rewarding that shit. But big up to RBN. Sorry that you guys had to experience this. We had experienced that. We know it's not fun. We know it sucks. So if you do consume RBN's content, I think they said that they are on Rumble. So you can go check them out on Rumble. But big up to the Revolutionary Blackout Network. If you saying something that gets you banned, chances are you're on the right side. I don't know what they said, but I'm assuming it had to been something righteous. So big up. Hey, Franny France, TW off, girl. I still be throwing me. I'm like, who the fuck? Who in the fuck is that? So anyway, but hey, Lady Alex, thank you so much for being here. Peace, Yipper 99. So yeah, I'm gonna be on the morning show tomorrow morning. I couldn't make it this morning, but I be there tomorrow. And I think I need to double check with Jordan if I'm doing status quo tomorrow. But I'll do, y'all see the shit one way or the other. So anyway, guys, we'll see y'all back here in July. Thank you all, as always, for all your support, your free support, you showing up, your chat support, your super chat support, your material support, all the things. So just thank you. Just very, very appreciative for everybody that's in here with us. Okay. So on behalf of Will and Molly, we'll see y'all back here live in July. So see y'all later. Bye bye. Bye bye. Shout out to our